The atmosphere was volatile 2 years ago. Shedding of blood was the order of the day.
They cut my brother into pieces. Actually, I cannot even grab how they did it, but in fact, it's a painful thing to me. They started cutting the feet. They shot the leg here, and the leg was broken. And they used a cutlass to cut the head and another part, and they cut here too. In fact, all the body.
Nobody felt secured in this town.
This one is a tribal war. It's a tribal conflict. If they see me, they have to kill me because they will say future leaders that they will get up and also grow and also attack them.
Schools were shut down for the safety of students and their teachers.
Close to 600 people. But right now, it has shrunk down. It has those who have left are more than those who are with us in the classrooms. The total number we have now is about 74 to 75 peoples.
Women and children were greatly affected.
The children see this girl came and collected 50 pesos now. Yesterday evening I didn't sell. This month I didn't sell. Where will I get and give it to them? And they made a curfew to run away. If the bus is coming self, they will sack us. Go and sleep. And they are breaking. We say we should go and sleep. So we beg the Abang to release the curfew for us, for our children to eat.
Police and military personnel took over the town to protect lives and property. It was a bloody land then. But now, the wind of peace is blowing.
Those who were fighting with, that was the cucumbers. They have come back. And we are greeting, responding, laughing, spending, marketing, all together. We are now friends.
That's right.
And what was worrying me, it has passed. So as a man, if something has done and passed, you have to forget. Yes.
With the land now cleansed and the past put behind them, the people of Nakpanduri have sworn to never again let any blood flow in their once deadly town.
Anybody who dares initiate any fight, we will fight him, the government will fight him, and the gods of our land will fight him. That is my promise, that never again will this happen.
I was here in April 2014 in the heat of the conflict to investigate why, though intermarried, the Bimobes and Konkobes were killing each other over a parcel of land. 20 months after, the maiming and killings have stopped, and I'm going back to investigate what brought about the peace in Nakpanduri and how the once bloody land got cleansed. This is Seth Kwame Boateng. Nakpanduri, a beautiful town and a business hub in the Bunkurugu district of the northern region, is the home of two main ethnic groups, the Konkombes and the Bimobes. They intermarried, and this showed the strong, positive and peaceful relationship that existed among them. This solid friendship continued until a day when controversy over the ownership of a parcel of land in one of Nakpanduri's suburb, Kemale, created deep enmity between them. This hatred led to mistrust and widened the gap between the two ethnic groups. Conflict resolution expert Emmanuel was among a team called upon to intervene.
Is that whereas you are dealing with a particular issue that escalated into violence, because the trust issue and the relationship issue between the two communities is not fully resolved, what happens is that you can have another flare-up based on a trigger that might even be intangible, but could lead to an escalation based on people's sense and perception of mistrust amongst them.
This mistrust and perception led to violent clashes, and they totally forgot about the friendship that existed between them. Their hearts were hardened, and they formed positions, so they shot to kill and set homes and properties on fire. People fight over land because it is one of the few resources that have a limited supply. The law of supply and demand as it applies to land can lead to civil unrest, political instability, war and famine. Also, the more land a person, a chief or a country controls, the more powerful they appear to be. During my tour for this documentary, I interacted with locals who shared painful memories of the conflict. 57-year-old security man Lara Dubik had his 29-year-old brother literally butchered a few weeks after the young man graduated from the WA campus of the University of Development Studies.
In fact, it's painful. If my brother were even sick and died and I buried him, I would have been happy. But somebody, you are working together, conversion, and later on, within some 30 minutes time, you hear that that person has died. And they have killed him with guns, using catalyzers on him. You know, it's a very painful and sad news.
A 33-year-old woman, Benju Lamisi, had a close shave with death in the heat of the hostilities. She was bathing when people she believed were their rivals shot her. The bullet pierced through her body.
I was inside taking my bath. After taking my bath, so I wanted to take my clothing. The moment I reached my hand to take my clothing, so I had my hand with gunshot.
Lamisi was lucky she did not die, but there were scores of people from both the Bimoba and the Konkombe side who died, especially in the first major violence in 2012. That violence saw the burning of scores of homes and other properties. Some 167 houses belonging to the Bimobes were set ablaze. They retaliated by storming the Kwemali area, which is a predominantly Konkoma community, burnt and flattened some 31 houses there. Insecurity reached its peak in Nakpanduri. Schools had to be closed down because education installations were also not spared. Nakpanduri Business Senior High School students were severely affected. One of the students, Jamon Dapo Clever, recounts some of the ordeals they went through.
I was just sitting under the light pole line. So finally, we heard gunshots and it was in the night. So in the night, where will you go? You came here as a stranger. Where will you run to? Run into the bush. If you run into the bush and they meet you, what will you do? So it has affected us a lot. So for studies there, the moment you just hear gunshot, people will be running helter skelter. They don't know where they are going, because even though it's always around this area, but sometimes bullets come around here. So if you are even here, that means you are not safe. You can easily be killed with a bullet, but they will say you have gone there, but you have not gone to the battlefield. You are in the school premises.
The only solution then to halt the wanton killings and destruction of properties was an imposition of a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in the area. A combined team of military and police personnel was detailed to Nakpanduri to end the atrocities. They were heavily armed and were positioned at strategic areas. Their patrol vehicles got no rest. They were instructed to ensure nothing went wrong, and that included doing whatever possible to ensure and promote law and order. Nakpanduri is a town with great prospects, but the hostility brought progress to a halt. Danger lurked around every corner. It is a busy town, and it is one of the center of business activities in the 3 regions in the north. This town also produces the freshest mangoes and granules, so people from other parts of the country drive hundreds of miles to Nakpanduri to buy them. But the curfew seriously slowed down all forms of transactions.
We said this Sinabe to look after the children.
What is Sinabe?
The groundnuts. So we call, so everybody knows it's Sinabe. If any stranger is coming in this town, they know this town Sinabe town. So even if it's 6 o'clock in the evening, When the time the buses will come, that time they are sacking us. We wouldn't sell too.
Then Interior Minister Kwesi Ahoy, the Inspector General of Police Mohammed Al-Hassan, and a high-powered government delegation flew to Nakpanduri to intervene in the disturbances.
It is sad when we lose property, we lose our foodstuffs, we lose our houses, and then we lose life. One life is as important as 4, as important as 100. I wish during my term as the Minister for Interior and during Naba's term as the Overlord, the history will say that during our term we brought peace to the community over here.
Putting forward, not that it has been reviewed, but it's being considered.
After weeks of investigating the killings and distractions in this beautiful town of Nakpanduri, all because of a disagreement over a parcel of land, I came up with a documentary titled Bloody Land. Nakpanduri Chief David Kansong says the Bloody Land documentary compelled them to end the killings and the distractions.
In fact, that was something that gingered me up.
You mean the documentary?
Yeah, the documentary. The Bloody Land I said, I have to refute this thing. I have to get this title off of Nakpanduri, because there are other explosive areas, and for Nakpanduri to be chosen as a Bloody Land, it didn't go down well with me. I said, okay, I won't talk, but I will act. When there is absolute peace, then those who titled us the Bloody Land, they will be quick to change it to another title that will be better.
The Nakpanduri chief was not the only one who felt ashamed of the content of the Bloody Land documentary. Some opinion leaders expressed similar concerns. Simon Nyamon is the immediate past assemblyman at Nakpanduri.
We're touched with the caption, the Bloody Land Nakpanduri. We looked at Boku, Yendi, where they had similar classes, but their play was not given such caption, but we had it. And in fact, looking at it, the youth saw that if the caption should continue to be like that and the community is like that, it means that there wouldn't be any development in the area. Because everybody, when you travel and you mention that you are coming from Nakpanduri, oh, the Bloody Land, it means that for here, everybody is just out to kill. And we're really sad. So when the documentary played, we thought it wise to see if there could be peace and the caption be removed. It really helped in that direction.
So the search for peace started. Opinion leaders from both sides, conflict resolution experts, traditional leaders, the clergy, and top government officials all gathered to think of the way forward. The head of a peaceful district, the East Mamprusi District Chief Executive Adam Imoro, played a crucial role in bringing all the factions together.
I was able to sit with the chiefs and let them understand that the only way we can develop is when there is peace. And when this was embraced, they work it out. And I kept on telling them that we don't have anybody on this earth apart from God who can come down, and he will never come down to bring peace in the area unless they bring it. We can only facilitate, but the peace is in their hands. If they want it, they can get it. If they don't want it, they will never get it. And when they realized it and appreciated what I told them, they started working at it. And within a very short period, particularly when we got the current regional minister, and he also started talking at the problem, they realized that the only way out is for them to make compromises. And that is how we got it done.
In situations like this, a third party is needed to serve as a mediator when parties in a conflict situation decide to meet to settle their differences. Such a person will not judge, but will be present to direct the conversation. Outgoing Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Mohammed Muniru Limuna says he got some people to play that role.
Finally, I got some opinion leaders from that area to go into negotiation. Sometimes it's always better to use internal people, the people themselves to do the talking. Other ones may be a bit academic or just a window dressing. So when I got them and they spoke to them, they really came out and told us their problems. And we were able to sit them together. We allowed them to repair themselves. Then finally, we got the overlord of that area, that's the Nairi, to come in. And I believe when they sincerely agreed that they were going to resolve the matters, the Nairi finally gave them a kola they took from the skins of being the descendants of Biwa. And that thing means a lot in the culture. That so long as you have said, I will never hurt Kwame Boateng again. And I want to swear that I've forgiven him. Traditionally, if you say that and you chew the kola, it has its consequences. That was the sincerest way of resolving the matter culturally.
So at the forecourt of the palace of the overlord of the Mampuku kingdom, a ceremony to officially hand over the kola to the Nakpanduri and Kwemali chief was held. With reverence, the two walked for their kola and followed up with a traditional dance. Then followed the pledge to ensure peace is restored in Nakpanduri.
The only one that's needed to fight and to lose lives and to lose properties. Now we have learned our lessons, we have learned the effects of war, and we are calling on other people here who are two sets of more people to also learn lessons from what we have gone through. That we can always dialogue, and in dialogue it is better than taking guns against one another.
This drum is beaten every morning to remind subjects of the king of Mampurugu of how powerful and influential the Nairi Mahami Buhagu Abdullahi Shariga is. A promise or a vow made in his presence cannot be broken because of the dire consequences that may accompany it. So when the former enemies returned to Nakpanduri, they made real the promise they made. The Nakpanduri chief David Kasong initiated the process by taking a major risk.
The Kunkumbes came and I had to accommodate them in my own house.
You did?
Yes. I accommodated them we slept in the same room. I and the Kunkumba chiefs. And I did this to ensure that everybody will see practically that I was prepared for peace. So I slept with them, we ate together, we did everything together. Then the following day, I sent them to church.
The district chief executive of East Mamprusi, Adam Imoro, said this was a big risk, but it was very important.
That day, it was a risk we all took because anything could happen. The Kunkumbes were not happy that their chief was moving to that extent to stay with the Nakpanduri chief, who is a Bimowa man. The Bimowers were not also happy that they were going to accommodate. So everybody was in a way preparing. But God being so great, the Nakpanduri chief was able to handle things such that they were able to stay together at least for a week.
Risk infers the possibility that things might not work out the way we expect, and the unknown is always scary. We ask ourselves, what if the worst happens? But risk makes us feel alive. Life without risk is life stuck in the rut. The chiefs took that risk, and it opened all the other closed doors. The next step towards the peace-building process was peace marches. As the Nakpanduri chief describes it, it was spectacular.
Then the second step was there was a peace float in town. Chiefs came from in and around Nakpanduri. The Kunkumbes came, and then we made a peace march through the principal streets of Nakpanduri. And we say, never again shall we ever engage ourselves in this sort of turmoil.
On that day, all other activities in Nakpanduri came to a standstill. Both young and old, the educated and the illiterate, the weak and the strong, teachers and parents all joined the peace march to signify their readiness to bury their differences.
Before then, it was difficult for a Kunkoma man to set foot in Nakpanduri. But I made sure that I went there, we played football matches, they came here, they played football matches, they had funerals, I went and greeted their funerals, and I rejoiced and mourned with them.
The Nakpanduri chief's effort has been recognized by the Northern Regional Security Council. So in July last year, he was honored at the regional level as the Chief of Peace. Outgoing Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Muniru Limuna explains what went into that decision.
That man was wonderful, the Nakpanduri chief. So because of that, on the Senior Citizens Day, we honored him as a chief of peace, because he was able to put aside all those things and followed his colleagues, the Konkombe, and they stayed. Even when they were rebuilding their houses, they stayed with him in his palace, and he did a lot of wonderful things. So we invited him at the regional level here, because such people, we need to honor them. Yes, I would have even wished that such a person is honored nationally, not just at the level of the region. Because we need to get people to be preaching peace.
We cry for peace. Lord, we cry for love in this name.
The people of Nakpanduri are tired of the notoriety they have gained through the killings and destruction of properties over the years. This affected every aspect of life, from teachers and health workers fleeing through to businesses closing down. They badly need peace. For now, both parties are committed to the peace process. The peace process has now reached a crucial point, that is the blood burial. Paul Slim, a former assemblyman, speaks about the importance of this last and most important part of the peace-building process.
Normally, when this type of thing happens, especially in wars, traditionally there's some rituals you have to perform. You have to kill maybe a goat, a dog, and some other fowls. And in the process, you have to cut the animals into two, live. You don't even have to slaughter. When they are alive, you get a very sharp knife and cut them into two. And then the other function will take half, and then the other function will take another half and bury it. So it's not done. When you look, yeah.
And the significance.
Yeah, it's a clear indication that you are going to have absolute peace. You are burying the blood, and then you have peace. And most of the times, even in the near future, you used even to give maybe your daughter to the other function, and then they also take your daughter.
So are you going to do that?
Well, that is still in the process.
At this point, somebody must provide these animals for the blood burial. The district chief executive for the area, Timothy Sampuan Larry, agreed to do so.
We needed 2 cows, we needed goat, pito, fowls, ducks, goat for the sacrifices. And as DC, I took it upon myself with the support of my regional minister and the deputy. So we provided the necessary things that the people needed to do the sacrifice.
So the blood burial took place at Pemale. It marked an end to the 30 years conflict. It was an exciting moment for them. They had every right to celebrate through drumming and dancing. It was a sacred move to cement the peace they longed for. The Nakpanduri chief, David Kansong, says, woe betides anyone who will attempt to disturb the much-awaited peace.
Yeah. Apart from we who are physically alive, what we will do to that person? And as I have told you that it is something I don't want anybody to disturb, I'll come down hard on you. That's more physically, 1. 2, they had to swear that never again. And we had to slaughter fowls, a fowl, a dog, and then a goat, a red cock, and then bury our weapons like the cudgels, the spears, and the arrows. We had to bury it. And this signifies that anybody who dares take any weapon on his fellow person, the gods of the land will invoke the gods of the land. Their anger will be on that person. That person, he will live to regret. Apart from me being the chief, dealing with him, my forefathers would deal with them as well. So they know it's a sacred oath that we did at Kwemale. Anybody who dares initiate any fight, we will fight him, the government will fight him, and the gods of our land will fight him. They know of that. That is my promise, that never again will this happen.
The Konkombes who lived in Kwemale stayed directly opposite the land in dispute. So in the heat of the conflict, their houses were razed down and they had to flee to Nasua, one of the surrounding villages in Nakpanduri. They became a burden on the Nasua chief, Daniel Wajak.
Anytime the government says they should go back, I will be happy, even today. So I'm fed up of keeping them.
Why?
I don't have food myself now. What I got for my family, I have shared it with them. So I'm now also suffering. So
this is the hardship it has brought on you.
Yeah.
And how do you manage?
Well, only God will know.
The hardship their stay in Nasua brought on the chief there is now a thing of the past. There is peace in Nakpanduri now, so the Konkombes have returned. Their former enemies, the Bimobes, have helped them rebuild their homes. The Konkomba chief's palace was one of the many homes razed down. But now, it has been rebuilt, and Chief Nemo Ibalim and his family now live in. He's a happy man now.
I was homeless then. That was why I was not happy when you first came here. I'm smiling now because I live in my own house. We suffered a lot of distractions in the conflict, and that never made me happy. But now, we are back trying to refix everything.
The District Security Council monitored events in town and did all their checks to verify the authenticity of the new wind of peace blowing in Nakpanduri. After a while, they realized it was genuine, so the curfew could be lifted without any troubles. The District Chief Executive Timothy Sampuan Larry said they initiated the process towards that.
After the sacrifice, everybody witnessed that there was peace. So we then recommended for the lifting of the curfew. That sat and gave some recommendations to reset. They also sat on it and recommended to Minister of Interior.
Is this the end of our suffering?
The Interior Minister for 17 months continued issuing press releases every week to either remind the people of the curfew there or a change in time. So after, the Regional Security Council proposed to the Interior Ministry to lift the curfew. Here are excerpts of the statement the Interior Minister issued on the 1st of October 2015.
The Ministry of Interior has lifted the curfew on Nakpanduri and its neighboring towns in the northern region. The decision, which takes effect from Friday, October 2nd, 2015, was taken based on the recommendation of the Northern Regional Security Council. This follows the smoking of a peace pipe between the factions in the crisis and their commitment to live in peace.
Outgoing Interior Minister Marco Yongo says appending his signature for the curfew to be lifted was one of the happiest moments in his life.
I was excited because the people were going to gain their freedom, their economic and social freedom. You know, I mean, sometimes you feel for the people, especially when I was regional minister in the Upper East region. Sometimes we had to impose 23-hour curfew. When the fighting became so intense, we had to impose about 23 hours curfew. So they had only 1 hour to come out and do whatever they wanted to do and go back. I felt for them, but it was in their interest. It was in the interest of the whole community. So I was excited when we lifted that curfew because the people had their freedom. I enjoy my freedom, and I expect everybody to enjoy his or her freedom. So when the curfew was lifted, I was excited. I was happy for them.
That day, I slept as never before. Because I used to tell my people, as for the curfew, don't break it all. The curfew has come from above. It has come from a place that nobody has power over it. So please, observe the curfew until the time those curfew makers will lift this curfew. So my people painfully observed the curfew. So when it was lifted, if you are here, you hear jubilation in town. You will hear music all over. People were dancing. They were happy that the curfew had indeed been lifted.
The atmosphere here was joyous, You can see it from my face that everybody was happy. That day, everybody jumped up and down, and we nearly drank off our heads. We played jams, children on the street, they were going up and down. Oh, everybody was happy.
I was very, very happy because some of my colleagues that are the day students, when there was curfew, they couldn't come and join us to pray. So because they lifted the curfew, they were able to come and pray with us. So we were very, very excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
You danced?
Yes, we danced a lot. We really danced. We were dancing as on to others, we were dancing the culture dance a lot. So it was just missing.
You know how to dance as well?
Yes.
Okay, do what?
I should do
that.
One group which played various crucial roles to bring peace to Nakpanduri was the West African Network for Peace Building. ONEP triggered a dialogue process among the factions and helped them follow strictly a roadmap they designed. Acting National Coordinator of ONEP, Albert Yalyang, says it got to a point the parties in the conflict had no option than ending the hostilities among them.
People welcomed it. At the beginning it was not easy, but eventually they recognized that yes, other people are looking at us, and it's also affecting us as a people, because the cost of it is so high. To be in conflict, there is so much cost, which is not beneficial, and a lot of things were going overboard in their own area in terms of infrastructure, in terms of other social, amenities like schools, hospitals, and the risk involved, to those who would want to work there, made them to desist or to resist postings and all of those things to the area. So it was recognized that if we don't address our own issues, then we might be seen as an isolated group, and a group that, will rewind the clock of progress, so backwards that it will affect us even more.
The people of Nakpanduri have their freedom now. There is excitement in town, so I decided to leave Accra one early morning to visit Nakpanduri and have a feel of the joy there. Remember, when they were mourning, I did so with them. So if they are rejoicing, I must definitely be part. It's about 146 kilometers away from the regional capital, Tamale, and about 565 kilometers from Accra.
To see what's going on, 'cause she heard all the noises in the night. It's a celebration. Even though she was old and gray, it didn't mean she was deaf and dumb.
After several hours' drive on some of the terrible road networks in the country, I finally entered Nakpanduri.
Said, God help us all.
The town is full of life. It is definitely not a ghost town as I found it same time 20 months ago when I first came here on my first visit. Around 6 p.m., you find not even a single soul on the streets of Nakpanduri. But what I am witnessing now is a complete departure from the past.
So the women who were not happy last year, complaining bitterly about the curfew and how it was affecting their businesses, are now happy. I'm here to speak to them again a few months after the curfew was lifted.
We are now happy. Okay. Our business is now moving how we want. So our children too, they are happy.
Okay, so it's 5 p.m. now. You're going to sell your garnet until what time?
Until 1 o'clock, I can sell. Yes, if there is cars, I can sell. We are selling. So we are saying any time at all we want, we will get up and go to the house. And our children too, they are feeling better now.
How much money have you been able to make since they lifted the curfew?
In a day? If the market is, I can sell more than 200 Ghana.
That is 2 million?
Yes.
Hey!
Yes, a day. It will be more than that.
Now we are making money. We are just making money, actually facts.
So you have plenty of money now?
Yeah.
If you wake up 4 o'clock, you just start working. 10 o'clock, you just start working. And the time we were in curfew, we can't go to any place. 4 o'clock, if you wake up and the police was here, hey, my mommy, go back, mommy. Oh, the time is not up, don't go. Don't go. We are having water here, we can't fetch water. And now we pray for God, we cry for God, now we are happy.
During the disturbances, schools closed down, teachers fled, and students could not even move about. But now, they are confident enough to move freely without any fears. At the Roman Catholic Primary School in Pemale, pupils here can now play without fearing there will be bullets flying in the air the next minute. Their confidence has reached a level where the senior ones are able to instill discipline in the juniors when their teachers are not available. In this school, the student population drastically reduced from about 700 to 76, all because children from a particular tribe could not come to school during the conflict. But now, they are all back and teachers are doing their best to let them know they are not enemies. Elijah Kansong is a teacher here.
As teachers, we have done psychology, and in the class, for them to know that there's absolute peace between they and their colleagues, we have made sure that this is a Kunkumba boy, this is a Bimoba boy, this is a Kunkumba girl, this is a Bimoba girl, because we have mixed them together. We have not allowed them to sit separately, which will go to mean that there's still something in them. No. So in our various classes, if you enter, you cannot differentiate between a Kunkumba boy and a Bimoba boy.
The bell is rung and all the pupils gather for their morning assembly. After the prayers, teachers spent time preaching peace to the children. As part of the process to instill oneness in them, they are made to sing patriotic songs daily.
You're not singing.
They are tired of the killings and troubles, so they sing to assure all and sundry that they are devoted to ensuring that they stay together as brothers and sisters. They need peace to study. They need that to enable them write the same exams with their colleagues in other regions. Students whose academic calendar suffered during the conflict were those who were writing their West African Senior Certificate examination at Nakpanduri Business Senior High School. There is peace now, and those presently in their final year are optimistic they will excel in their final exam. Vida Sante and Georgina Mon are students in this school. They recount their experiences.
And I was walking towards the school, so I just reached the Thai road, walking towards the school, and I heard a gunshot. Hey, so me, I was just
How was the sound like?
Oh, like boom! Hey, so actually I didn't know what was happening, and my mother just shouted from the house, "The Vida, lie down flat."
On the street?
On the street, so that if they are throwing the gun like this, it will not get you when you are lying down. So I just lay down. And then I didn't know what to do. My prayers were that, oh God, save me from this trouble. Oh God, save me from this trouble. Hey.
So me, I was in the house when a bullet just came and passed. I said, hey,
really?
My God.
A bullet?
Yes. Like fire just came and passed. I said, hey, my God, help us. Because this was the only place we can study and learn. Because we need to also learn and stay hard. Also educate the people. Those who don't know maybe the advantages of peace. Yes. So we prayed to our Lord. It was somehow better, all right. Just Thursday, early dawn, another war. So just there. It affected us a lot because it can come to 1 week, 2 weeks, you not go to school. Then how can we really learn and pass?
Some non-indigents fled Nakpanduri with their children for safety. They have since not returned. Teachers in this school have gathered. Some of their former students could not continue their education after fleeing the town. One of such teachers is Timothy Amadou Golon.
A lot of them had to run to Kumasi. It's only unfortunate some just ended their school because they had to run down south where they couldn't continue their school. And some had to become by force farmers. Maybe they could have been future leaders.
In Nakpanduri today, peace messages are preached everywhere. The people are bent on ensuring that they enjoy their freedom every day. A local radio station, Scarp FM, has been established to help achieve that.
Peace can never be bought. In Ghana, as we are now,
all the ethnic groups in Nakpanduri have their days of appearing on this radio station to discuss issues of development as well as peace. The chief of Nakpanduri, David Kansong, says they are using this to achieve a particular outcome.
I wanted more ideas as to what to do to bring about peace. And one of my boys said, okay, another way of bringing peace is to establish an FM in town. So he came with this FM. It's called Scarp FM 101.3, Nakpanduri. And I called and told him that I want the Kunkumes to feature prominently on their programs. I want the Momprises to feature prominently on their programs. I don't want it to be Bimova affair alone. The Momprises, the Kunkumes, the Kusasis, and especially all those tribes that are around Nakpanduri, they should feature in the program so that it shouldn't be Nakpanduri alone. And in fact, they are doing such an excellent job.
There are all forms of religion here in Nakpanduri, Christians, Muslims, and traditionalists. And they all believe in prayers and the role it can play to cement the peace they have now. An extremely dry, hot Friday afternoon, and Muslims in Nakpanduri are being called to the mosque for prayers. Both the young and old assemble to thank God for their lives and the peace in Nakpanduri. The Imam leading the prayers, Al-Haji Al-Hassan Dogona, is happy Muslims from all the ethnic groups are able to make it to the mosque now. The Konkombes could not do so during the conflict.
Look at
the mosque now. It is full of people. If today was a market day, all those we were fighting with would have come here to worship. It tells the unity among us. We are still praying to God to help us maintain this peaceful atmosphere. We pray that the peace we have here is enjoyed in other parts of the country.
In the past, chiefs from the various tribes regarded each other as a worst enemy. Nothing would woo them to work together. But now, the situation is different. On Sunday morning, I saw all the chiefs, even those who are not Christians, walk together to the Nakpanduri Central Assemblies of God Church. The congregation, together with the chiefs, prayed to God for their safety and the peace they enjoy now.
I'm happy. To have us our chief. But I've been away and it's a long time I met him.
My understanding is that the chiefs have been doing this since Nakpanduri gained back its peace. The slightest opportunity they get, they exhibit to the people that they are one and nothing should divide them again. All the chiefs take the opportunity to encourage the people to do their best to sustain the peace.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
The peace messages and commitment from their leaders sound gratifying to the people, and it is the norm in most parts of Ghana. Such news is greeted with singing and dancing. The people of Nakpanduri are not the only ones rejoicing over the freedom there. Neighboring communities like Nasua are also happy. The chief Naba Daniel Wajak and his people had to find shelter and food for the people of Nakpanduri who became refugees in Nasua. Naba Wajak says he suffered a stroke because of the pressure from the conflict. He jubilated the day the warring factions laid down their weapons and vowed not to fight again.
That day, I killed a big sheep, a big ram for my family and shared it with the family people, those who were refugees in my palace. I shared it with them and assured them that there's peace, so they should all get ready and return back. And we went to Nakpanduri chief again with so many gifts to give to Nakpanduri chief to be happy, and they all accepted my gifts.
Those who were bitter and vowed to avenge the death of their loved ones have all been spoken to and have put the past behind them. Lara Dubik had his brother literally butchered in the conflict. He vowed not to forgive those who did that to his brother. But now, he says the past belongs to history.
So I'm telling you that I'm happy. Because we are now friends.
That's right.
And what was worrying me, it has passed. So as a man, if something has done and passed, you have to forget. Yes.
So
Those who did that to your brother, when you see them now, how do you feel?
Oh yes, I don't have a problem with them, but I know it's just a devil which deceived them to do. So I'm a Christian, I have forgotten.
Businesses folded up. A number of workers, including teachers and health professionals, also fled to other places. The district chief executive, Timothy Sampualari, wants them back to help rebuild Nakpanduri. He says their safety is assured.
Initially, people were afraid. They say the whole district, the picture has to be maybe those who like fighting. So any investor who want to come to the area entertain some fear. Sometimes some people don't even know the area. But the way they present the news and other things, they actually put fears on some people. But I take this opportunity to let everybody know that the way they perceive Nakpanduri, it is no more like that. It's a peace-loving place. If you come there day in, day out, businesses are going on all right. Students are attending schools all right. We only lack teachers.
Now, both the Konkombes and the Bimobes have agreed to use the land which triggered the conflict for a common developmental project. The chief of Nakpanduri has plans of celebrating a yearly event on that land.
I want to erect a monument, or what do you call it? A monument at the site of the blood bearer. And I want to write there, the inscription go, never again. And I want it to be a yearly celebration. I'll invite the Kunkombes, the Bimobes will come, and I'll remind them that it is more to gain. There is more to gain when we are in peace than when we are at war.
Outgoing Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Limuna Muniru Muhammad is now able to heave a sigh of relief. All emergency trips to Nakpanduri to intervene in the conflict have stopped. He says the tourism potential of Nakpanduri is set to be harnessed.
Yeah, first of all, you can see the Eastern Corridor Road will be passing through there, and it's going to open up the place. The people are very industrious. If you look at the way they do, they are very industrious in that area. And we believe that the last time I took the Minister of Tourism and Culture there to have a look at using their hills for this Easter thing that they do, the paragliding and all those things. So all those things are things that we want to open it up. We've also realized that our former president, Nkrumah, had a guest house there.
Oh.
Yes, I don't know. You've never gone there? Oh, that's serious. Nakpanduri, he has a guest house where he goes to relax. It's built, everything is there. His furniture and everything are still there.
Really?
Intact. And it's being used as a guest house, actually. But it's just that it's not in the good shapes. And we are trying to identify that and see how we can get tourists to go and have a look. So it's like you can go there and relax, have some fun and drinks, then you go out and do your this thing and get back. So we want to make good use of the scarp there and see how best we can attract tourists, because there's a lot of tourist attraction.
Though there is peace in this former bloody land, acting national coordinator of WANEP, Albert Yalyang, says there are a number of things which must not be taken for granted.
As long as the cultural and structural causes are not addressed. For instance, have the people stopped denigrating each other? Have they stopped reorienting their own kin and kith, children, about each other? The negative statements, tendencies, attitudes that they have towards each other. Have they stopped that? And those are the things we need to look at. And as long as people struggle for power, that enables them to discriminate against each other. Have they stopped those things? So the underlying causes, of conflict should be looked at.
If you live in Nakpanduri and you have plans to mar the peace here, the Nakpanduri chief has this caution for you.
Any youth who was found to interfere with this peace process, I'll come down hard on him. And I even demonstrated it in my palace here. There was one youth who was trying to disturb the Kunkombes. I made him to undergo some I don't know what the soldiers to say it. There was some drilling. He hopped to town and back here. And I asked him whether he will ever repeat. He said, Chief, I'll never repeat again. I says, this is a warning to everybody in Nakpanduri here. If you dare disturb this peace process, you have disturbed me. And I told them that the peace process I had put in place was like the tail of a serpent. When you step on his tail, then he will come on you very badly. So this is my tail. Anybody who steps on this peace process, I will not see eye to eye with that person.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one.
Who knows? Any of the children here could one day become a leader of the nation. Education is the way out for them. Students in Nakpanduri pray the atmosphere here remains the same to enable them learn and catch up with their counterparts in the cities. Yes, they say they can. Brother Asante and Georgina Mon of the Nakpanduri Business Senior High School tell me tolerance is golden.
They must be united, and you must tolerate others' views too. If someone brings the opinion, you shouldn't tell the person that opinion is not good. But you should really tell the person that, okay, if this is your suggestion, then this is mine too. So that you sit down and then you draw your plans concerning that opinion. So that you all come into one accord and then you see to it what to do next. But if someone says something and you also bring that this person's own is not good, let me bring mine, that one to bring about conflict and there will not be stability in the country.
We need to go on peace campaigns, talk to our parents who have not gone to school, those who don't know the effects of conflict. And just we need to also appeal to those who are far away from us. They should also talk to the government so that we need political stability. Because Ghana is our beloved country, so we hate to share blood.
Start giving. We're saving our own lives. That is true. We'll make a better thing. Just you and
me. We all have a duty to ensure Ghana is peaceful. Violence is never an option. Tolerance is the best alternative. We lagged behind in terms of development, and we need peace to catch up. Ghana is the only country we have, and we must make it peaceful.
It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me.
This has been Seth Kwame Boateng. I brought you this documentary titled The Cleansed Land.